What's going on, everyone? So Austin Reaves was absolutely him last night. 38 points in 37 minutes, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 13 of 23 from the floor, 4 of 8 from three-point range, 8 for 8 from the free throw line, 1 block, 2 steals, 0 turnovers, which is the big key, right? Because he's had a problem taking care of the basketball this season, particularly with ball pressure, and then was a +1. Austin Reaves was fantastic, right? Closed the game down the stretch for us. I don't really want to get in the game because the game itself was it was terrible, right? We got the win. I'll take the win. Never going to complain about a win, but not all wins are great wins. And this wasn't a great win by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't because of Austin Reaves, right? Austin Reaves showed up. Him and LeBron James showed up. I wish others would have showed up, right? Like, I think if Austin Reaves had a little more help outside of LeBron James, he probably would have got that 40 piece. Towards the end of the game, he was gassed. I mean, you could see it clearly. And he was trying very hard to hit that 40 points. Took a couple just ill-advised shots, especially when you're tired and trying to wear out. That, if we're being honest, almost cost us the game. But we won the game. We got it. Austin Reaves, 38 points. You're not even in that game if it wasn't for Austin Reaves. So can't really knock him too much. I know a lot of people, anytime I even remotely criticize Austin Reaves, right? People forget for literally 2 years, I hyped up Austin Reaves like he was the second coming of Michael Jordan. And then you start to see the inconsistencies. I was one of those guys that defended him tooth and nail and made up excuses and all that stuff. We know Austin Reaves can go get you 30. We know Austin Reaves go get you 35, near 40, right? We've seen him do it so many times. My only problem with Austin Reaves is the lack of consistency. Right, he gets you 38 this game, and then he goes and gets you, the next 3 games he's giving you 12 on like 3 of 12 from shooting. Right, like that's where my dilemma lies. That's where my problems is the inconsistencies, the lack of defense. Right, like I've always said, he is a very good player. He is better than his contract because people always say, but his contract, yes, he's better than his contract without a doubt. Right, I like Austin Reaves a ton. There are countless videos of me defending Austin Reaves, even when I shouldn't have defended Austin Reaves, right? But at some point, you got to come to the realization of, like, he's probably not your third option on a real contender, right? Like, he is a very good role player, but he has his inconsistencies, right? He, yes, gave you 38, and I'm not even saying he has to give you 38 a night, but can he give you, I've even said, if like clockwork, he could give you, 17 a night. Right? I know his averages and all that stuff, but averages are averages. Averages are based on, 10 games, 5 you get, 12, and 5 you get 25, right? But you look at some of these other guys, right? And it's like, obviously bad games happen, inefficient nights happen, right? But it's, what are you doing on most nights? That's the problem. On most nights, you don't know what Austin Reaves you're going to get. You don't know if you're getting 38-point Austin Reaves or you're getting 8-point Austin Reaves, right? Like, and that's where my dilemma lies. But that being said, Austin Reaves was fantastic, and he's been much better recently. He had, a couple dud games, and all the Reaves stands completely disappeared, which I don't get. If you're a Reaves guy, you should be a Reaves guy even on a bad night, right? You should be trying to defend your guy even on a bad night. I just think it's funny that all the Reaves stands only come out when Austin Reaves has a game like this, but they don't really want to seem to talk when, he has those poor games. But I digress, right? Point is, Austin Reaves was great. Shot the ball well. But once again, he did everything that I've talked about heavily. And I've even encouraged people to watch the differences when he's being aggressive as opposed to not. And it's another big reason why I don't believe he should be the point guard, right? Austin Reaves is at his best when he is in attack mode and he is aggressive. When he has to play the point guard role, he tries to balance out both. And sometimes he's able to. We've seen him go and get, 25 and dish out 14 assists or whatever, right? Like, there's times where he can, but more often than not, it's one or the other, right? Like, you'll see games where he gets you like 12 points, but he'll get you like 14 assists. Or, he'll get you 3 assists, but 38 points, right? Like, but this team needs more than anything aggressive attack mode Austin Reaves. But you only really get that when Anthony Davis doesn't play, right? Every time Anthony Davis doesn't play, you see Austin Reaves go, or if LeBron doesn't play, right? You'll see Austin Reaves go get you 30. And it's like, why? Because he now has the responsibility, and he feels like he has the responsibility and duty of being that scorer, right? I don't have LeBron. We don't have his, 25 tonight, or we don't have Anthony Davis. We don't have his 25 tonight. I gotta double my point total. I gotta work twice as hard, right? And so he gets in aggressiveness. He gets in attack mode, and he attacks. That's when he's the best, though, for the Lakers, no matter what, whether Anthony Davis or LeBron are on the court, regardless. I also think, and I've said this before, I think a lot of his inconsistencies, I think a lot of his issues, a lot of the complaints that I have about him, I think would actually be solved if he continued to be in attack mode, right? What did he do that year that he had the emergence? He was constantly in attack mode, getting to the foul line, being aggressive, getting to his spots, elevate, right? But how did he have his emergence? LeBron James was out. They needed somebody to step up. Austin Reaves was the guy that stepped up, right? Well, that version of Austin Reaves, he played that way the entire rest of the way, including the playoffs. And the Lakers were really good. He was really good. We were all like, oh, this is a star in the making, this, that, and the other. And then last year, he started settling more, taking more threes, even when he's shooting poorly, right? There was a game a couple weeks ago where I talked about how, he had this great game and blah, blah, blah. And I hyped him up. And then I was like, but he was 1 of 4 of shooting. And I emphasized 1 of 4 shoot from 3. 1 of 4 from 3. Right? And the reason I emphasize that is because he didn't settle. How many times have we seen Austin Reaves go 0 of 4 to start a game from 3-point range? And then he just will keep shooting another one and another one. And he'll try to force stuff at times. And just instead of being in attack mode, right? Now, when your shot is falling, fine, go ahead. If you start the game 2 of 4, take 2 more, right? Oh, now you're, 3 of 6, take 2 more. 4 of 8, okay, take 2 more, right? But when you're 0 of 4, right, unless you just get a wide open look, then yeah, take the wide open look. But you'll see a lot of times he'll settle instead of being in attack mode, putting the pressure on the defense. He'll bail out the defense, right? The game we saw last night is what I've talked about and what I've stressed for 2 years now, right? That version of Austin Reaves. We need that version of Austin Reaves, not necessarily the 38 points, but the aggressiveness. But he only seems to really be that aggressive on certain nights, not every night. And I think that that's a big part of his inconsistencies. Again, I like Austin Reaves. I've always maintained you don't just trade Austin Reaves. People are like, but you said to trade him. Yeah. Nobody on this roster is untradeable. If the San Antonio Spurs called tomorrow and said, hey, we'll trade you Victor Wembanyama for Anthony Davis or Victor Wembanyama for LeBron James, would you not do that? If tomorrow they called and said, hey, we'll trade you Jokic for LeBron James, would you not do that? Again, nobody is untradeable. And Austin Reaves is good. He's not a superstar. He's not this star. He is a very good, role player, above average role player, whatever you want to call him. He's a guy that is excellent on an excellent contract. But I've always maintained, if you can get a clear upgrade, right? So I would trade him for De'Aaron Fox in the offseason, right? I've never said, oh, you should trade Austin Reaves for, Colin Sexton, right? Or trade Austin Reaves for whatever. The only times that I've ever talked about trading Austin Reaves has been for a clear upgrade, or I've talked about if you get that guy, if you get a Zach LaVine, Austin Reaves and Zach LaVine become a redundancy. So if you can turn Austin Reaves into a non-redundancy, right? Outside of that, you don't trade Austin Reaves, right? Austin Reaves, I really like when he is aggressive in attack mode, right? It's what I preach and what I scream for him to do, right? Again, I'm not saying he has to be the version he was last night, but there's no reason this guy shouldn't be averaging 20 on a regular basis, right? 8 out of 10 games, he should be getting you 20. He should, right? Easily. And the reason he isn't is because of the lack of consistency, or the lack of, well, yeah, partly the lack of consistency, but also the lack of aggression at times, right? His 3-point shooting is really hot and cold at times, so that doesn't help either. But his 2-point percentage, him just being aggressive, especially when he can get to the foul line and stuff like that, right? Like, you look at the emergence year, right? 2022, 2023. He shot from 3-point range 40%. He shot 52.9% from the field total. He was 63.1% from 2-point range. Why? Because he got to his spots regularly. He was aggressive. He looked for his shots. Usually when he has great nights and he's aggressive in an attack mode, he's around 60% from 2-point range. Right? It's usually how it works. His free throw shooting, 4.1 attempts. Right? This season he's shooting 4 attempts, but he also was shooting almost 87% that season, so that helped. Right? If you look at his emergence year and you look at the differences, right? A lot of it is just his lack of aggression at times. And if you translated his production this season, like his attempts, and also because his attempts are 13.8, which is the highest of his career, right? Even his 3-point attempts, all of that, right? If you translate that to that season, right, he would be basically a 23-point-a-game guy. Do you know how many games the Lakers have lost that they would have won if he would have been that? Right? But it starts with him being in attack mode. Austin Reaves was fantastic last night. Any opportunity, I've said, any time I can praise a guy, I'll praise a guy. But anytime a guy needs criticism, guess what? They're going to get criticism. I've criticized LeBron. I've criticized Anthony Davis. Austin Reaves is not above criticism. No one on this roster is above criticism. The only people that I give a pass to is Max Christie at times, but I've still criticized Max Christie. I've still talked about how he's out of position at times, stuff like that. He had a rough game last night, but I also, context matters, right? Dalton Connect. You rarely, if ever, hear me criticize him. Why? Because context matters. He's a rookie. It's his first year, right? He's trying to find his footing. He doesn't get 10, 12 shot attempts a night to where he can get himself out of a shooting slump, right? Context matters. Austin Reaves has been in the league with the Lakers long enough to know what we need. He's supposed to be our third guy. Shouldn't we hold him to that standard? Right? If he's going to really be our third guy, shouldn't he be held to the standard of the third man? Of a guy that we're looking to count on a nightly basis. Right? No one is above criticism. When he deserves it, I give it to him. When he deserves praise, I praise him. This is a game that he deserves praise, without a doubt. It's a game where he was fantastic. I mean, unbelievably great. Kept us in the game. Helped close out the game. I don't mind. And I even defended him in my live stream about trying to close out and get to 40. I don't really knock him for that. Like I said, it almost cost us the game. But hey, you know what? You have an opportunity to go get 40 first time. Go get 40 first time. Right? Austin Reaves was fantastic. But we need him to continue to be aggressive. It's that simple. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it out of the way. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.